It could be dogs, it could be knitting, it does not matter. When you are joyful and mindful in the moment, in your passion, nothing can touch you. There is no bipolar, schizophrenia, or OCD. There is no you or me. I don't want to get too spiritual, but it changed my life. Finally saying, I love film and music, and talking and sharing with people. I went to school because I wanted to be a counselor. I didn't like being in this job because I'm too much of a rebel. I couldn't follow the rules without getting in trouble. You're not allowed to be friends with the clients. I don't like that. And for $28,000 strength, I'm not going to do it. But I like sharing with people. So I got caught up for a couple of years trying to get jobs in this, thinking, well, how can I get involved in this industry then, in mental health and rehabilitation? I wanted to do it, but I didn't love it. And then I realized, okay, I have this book chapter coming out, so I get to start a blog, and I have to market myself as some kind of speaker, and you can earn money, and all this stuff, because it's very tough. I know a lot of you probably empathize. It can be tough to earn money with an illness and following your passion. It's a rock and hard place, especially for the loved ones. I'm sure if you have any kids, some of you have kids here, you know that it's hard to integrate all these different things.
It's nice to have passions, but how do you get the break?
Yeah. The break is not important.
Yeah, it is.
Hold on, I'll tell you why it's not important. Okay. You want to know what you want to do and why you want to do it, not how and when it's going to happen. So I know I want to work with dolphins, people with mental illness, film and music. I know why I want to do it. Dolphins are a lifelong passion. Music, film, lifelong. I went to film school, I didn't get to finish because of my illness. Working with people, I went to school for it, but I didn't completely fit in. The how and the when. How am I gonna end up working with dolphins? How am I gonna end up making a movie and speaking to people, and when's it gonna happen? That's why mindfulness and joy are your best friends. Because there is no when's it going to happen or how's it going to happen when you're in the moment and you're happy. Because we're talking about a happiness that is satisfaction. I have a quote I carried around with me from Joseph Campbell. It's on my phone actually, and I usually share it with people. Hopefully I'll have time for 1 minute to read it to you guys. I don't know it off the top of my head, I wish I did. And he is famous partly for something called the hero's journey in mythology. He lived an amazingly passionate life. Star Wars, which was a big influence on me as far as movies and philosophy, and people don't realize the effect it had on people in my generation. It really was tremendously impactful. And Star Wars was worked on by Joseph Campbell and George Lucas on the mythology of Star Wars. So and he talks about following your bliss, Joseph Campbell. A lot of people have heard that, follow your bliss. And they say, oh, what does that mean? Come on, so I should just leave my kids and my job and follow my bliss? Well, most people haven't heard the whole quote, which I'll read to you at the end. Establish embodiment practices. That's what I really am probably most interested in sharing with other people who have a mental illness. 18 months ago, I started using an audio program where you listen on headphones. And because of the science behind it, it helps put you into a meditative state. Meditating can be very difficult, especially for people with racing thoughts and things like we tend to have sometimes, or depression. And with this science, you can listen to this half an hour a day, and it kind of works no matter what, even if you just have to sit and eat while you're listening to it. I started that 1.5 years ago. Coincidentally, at the same time that I decided to go to Costa Rica. I kept working on my music and my film, and it was important for me to reach out to people. I was depressed in my 20s, I was isolated, I don't have any friends. I'm a friendly person. All my stuff revolves around either working with people or creating something like a movie or film that can give people the feeling I get when I go to a concert or see a movie and I get out and I'm just psyched up. Everything I do has to do with other. Yet I was isolated. I didn't do anything. I didn't have any friends. So this past year, I been on the internet a lot, making friends all over the country. I've always liked to travel. Now I have invitations to go to Utah, to Colorado, to New Mexico. People are doing different things. I find out what they're passionate about, and I say, why don't you teach me how to do woodworking? Can I come for a week? Teach me how to do whatever you love to do. It's the passion. I'd like to talk about it some other time some more, because your question is the same question I had. But when you have the experience of being in the moment and enjoying that passion without what, why, who, or where, it's so gratifying that those questions sort of dissolve. Because look, say it's taken some time. I was in Costa Rica a year. Next month will be a year. And I got offered the book, and I tried to make this blog, and I'm supposed to market myself and all that, and I don't like it. I like talking to people. It's hard for me to figure out all these WordPress and computer stuff. I have to learn how to do this on the internet and this on the internet. I just want to talk to people. I'm trying to get some people to help me work with me. I wanted to get the stigma thing, which is obviously always this concern. I truly believe if you're happy with yourself and following your passion, the stigma thing, because you're working on yourself. That's what meditation is, contemplation. Your art, if you're working on art as a creative outlet, or helping animals as your passion, you will continually care less and less. Not because you won't mind stigma as much. You'll never not care about it. There's a difference between caring about, people talking about you or your family or people you care about and judging them. But you won't mind it as much because you got something you have to do.
Agreed. So why don't you give us that quote and then we can segue into the rest of our
Okay, yeah, the quote is Joseph Campbell, and he's famous for saying follow your bliss, which I said, a lot of people hear that and say, okay, whatever, I'll quit my job and leave my kids. This is the full quote. The way to find out about your happiness is to keep your mind in those moments when you are really happy. Not excited, not just thrilled, like mania, but deeply happy. This requires a little bit of self-analysis. What is it that makes you happy? Stay with it no matter what people tell you. This is what I call following your bliss. If you do follow your bliss, and this is for you, you put yourself on a kind of track that has always been there all the while, waiting for you. And the life that you ought to be living is the one you are living. And wherever you are, if you're following your bliss, you're enjoying that refreshment, that life within you all the time. When you can see that, you begin to meet people who are in the field of your bliss, which is what I was talking about. When you're following your bliss, this is his direct quote, and I now have lived this experience, which is why to me it's no longer theory. Meditation, coincidence, intuition are no longer theories for me, because they happen to me. But they didn't happen to me until I committed to listening to this audio every night, meditating, and doing other things. So you got to put the work in. And the final part is, when you can see that, you begin to meet people who are in the field of your bliss, and they open the doors for you, which is what happens. I say, follow your bliss and don't be afraid, and the doors were open where you didn't know where they were. And that is the story. And if you want to